policy is not on a preset course. We slowed the gradual decline in our balance sheet in May, and we stopped it in July. In response to the funding pressures in money markets that emerged in mid-September, we decided to maintain a level of reserves at or above the level that prevailed in early September. To achieve this level of reserves, we announced in mid-October that we would purchase Treasury bills at least into the second quarter of next year and would continue temporary open market operations at least through January. These actions are purely technical measures to support the effective implementation of monetary policy as we continue to learn about the appropriate level of reserves. They do not represent a change in the stance of monetary policy. We're committed to providing clear explanations about our policies and our actions. Congress has given us an important degree of independence so that we can effectively pursue our statutory goals based on facts and objective analysis. Gross domestic product, or GDP, increased at an annual pace of 1.9% in the third quarter of this year after rising at around a 2.5% rate last year and in the first half of this year. The moderate third quarter reading is partly due to the transitory effect of the UAW strike at General Motors. It's a longer-term issue that I imagine we all realize will have to be addressed over time. It's just the case that now that the debt is growing faster than the economy, than the nominal GDP. And ultimately, in the long run, that's not a sustainable place to be. Now, how to fix that? It's easy to say that, and how you do that and when you do that is an issue that is up to you and not to us. But I would be remiss in not pointing out that the consequences of not addressing it are just that we'll be spending more and more, our kids really, and grandkids, they'll be spending their tax dollars servicing debt rather than on the things they really need, as I mentioned earlier: education, health care, security, all the things that we need, that they'll need. They'll be spending more and more of their money on tax. But you don't need to balance the budget or pay down the debt or anything like that. You just need to get the economy growing faster than the debt. And that should be I think, the goal. And by the way, the successful programs for countries to get back on a sustainable path tend to take place over a long period of time and be relatively gradual. And I would be looking at something that would work over time, but really would not be giving you a lot of advice on how to do it. Capture gross domestic product in a $22 trillion economy. I think the people who do that do a great job at it, but it's quite difficult. In July, the committee has lowered the target range for the federal funds rate by 0.75 percentage points. These policy adjustments put the current target range at 1.5% to 1.75%. The committee took these actions to help the U.S. economy, keep the U.S. economy strong,